The sunlight, it burns. Not just the skin, deeper, in the bones, in the marrow, like acid leaching through glass. We call it vitamin D deficiency. We build rituals around it: lotions, hats, shelters of steel and glass. We treat it like a quirk, a minor design flaw. But what if it's not a flaw? What if it's a sign? What if we are the aliens? Not little green men, not invaders from the Starship Vengeance. Something older, stranger, something that forgot. We look human, we feel human, we bleed red, weep salt, crave touch. We build cities, write poems, wage wars. We tell ourselves stories of evolution. Fish crawling onto primordial shores, apes descending from trees, conquering the savannah. It's a comforting myth, a cradle song for a species perpetually homesick. But the cracks, they're everywhere, glaring. Once you see them, you can't unsee. Consider the spine, a vertical stack of bone, precariously balanced. Prone to slippage, rupture, chronic agony. Efficient for a creature brachiating through dense canopy? Perhaps. For a creature supposedly designed for walking upright on open plains? Laughable. A jury-rigged scaffold holding up a cathedral. An engineer's nightmare. Or an adaptation jury-rigged onto a body plan meant for a different gravity? A different posture entirely? And childbirth. We celebrate it. The miracle of life. But the reality is brutal, traumatic, dangerous, fatal still far too often. A baby's head barely fits through the pelvic opening. An evolutionary bottleneck so severe it screams mismatch. On a world we supposedly evolved for, wouldn't natural selection have smoothed this path millennia ago? Unless the path was never meant to be walked here. Unless this world's specifications are wrong, off by a few critical degrees. Like trying to run software on incompatible hardware. It works mostly, but it glitches constantly. Look at our relationship with nature. We are apex predators, terrified of spiders, repulsed by insects, allergic to pollen, dust, sunlight. We build sterile environments, seal ourselves in climate-controlled bubbles. We feel a primal pull towards nature, yet it bites us, stings us, poisons us, makes us ill. We cultivate it, then wage war against it. Is this the behavior of a species truly native? Or the desperate, conflicted actions of colonists, trying to terraform a world that subtly, relentlessly terraforms us back? The sleep cycle, tied to a spinning rock orbiting a star. Yet, universally, we fight it. We need artificial darkness, artificial silence, artificial rituals to coax our minds into necessary oblivion. And even then, it fractures. Insomnia, night terrors, sleep paralysis, waking nightmares where the air itself becomes thick, hostile, watchful, as if the mind, in its vulnerable state, brushes against something else. The ambient frequency of a planet not our own, or the fragmented dreams of a home world light years away, bleeding through the static of displacement? We feel it, this unease, this persistent, low-grade anxiety humming beneath civilization's noise. We call it existential dread, the human condition. We medicate it, distract from it, drown it in light and sound. But it never truly leaves. It's the hum of engines deep within a vast, generational ship. Engines that stopped millennia ago. Orphans adrift, forgetting they were ever on a voyage. The dread isn't fear of death. It's the subconscious memory of the void outside the hull. The terrifying silence of the place between stars, where we drifted for so long, we forgot the sky wasn't always there. And the stars themselves, we gaze up, feel awe, wonder, insignificance. Poets rhapsodize, scientists catalog. But deep down, doesn't it also feel like looking through a barred window? Or staring at a map to a place you can never return? That ache isn't just beauty, it's recognition. A deep, cellular memory of a different sky. A sky where the constellations told different stories. Where the light didn't burn. We search for extraterrestrial life. We point telescopes at exoplanets in habitable zones. We imagine creatures adapted perfectly to their worlds. Why can't we see we might be them? Adapted elsewhere, stranded, or planted, forgotten, or deliberately quarantined? Think of our myths. Every culture has them. Gardens, falls from grace, expulsions, floods, gods descending from the sky, Prometheus stealing fire, stories of a lost golden age, a time before this, before the struggle, before the sickness, before the sun burned and the plants fought back and childbirth became a battlefield. Are they primitive explanations? Or fragmented racial memories? Echoes of a catastrophic arrival? A desperate landing? A forced adaptation that overwrote our original coding, leaving only glitches and phantom pains? The body is a battlefield. Autoimmune diseases, the body attacking itself, mistaking its own tissues for invaders. Why, on our home world, would this happen? Or is it the ultimate symptom of displacement? The immune system, calibrated for an ecosystem light years away, adrift in a sea of unfamiliar biological signals? Every allergy, every arthritis flare, every attack on pancreas or thyroid. Is it a misfire? Or is it the body screaming, on a cellular level, "This is not my environment. These are not my parameters"? We are riddled with vestigial remnants. The appendix, wisdom teeth, the coccyx, that remnant of a tail. Evolutionary leftovers, we say. But what if they aren't leftovers from ape ancestors, but from something else? Blueprints half erased? Code from a different biological platform, poorly patched to run on Earth's operating system? The goosebumps that raise uselessly on our skin, trying to fluff fur we no longer possess. What predator did that fur evolve to deter? Was it native to here? The most terrifying evidence is in the mirror. Look, really look. Beyond the familiar curves of nose and lip, see the uncanny valley within. That flicker of something alien behind the eyes. The sudden, chilling disconnect you feel sometimes when catching your own reflection unexpectedly. That split second where you don't recognize the face staring back. That's not psychosis. That's recognition. The mask slipping. The settler glimpsing the ghost of the original inhabitant beneath the borrowed flesh. The colonist seeing the face of the colonized and realizing it's their own. We build telescopes to look out. We build microscopes to look in. Both reveal mismatches, fractures, a species fundamentally unsettled. Not just socially, biologically, psychically. We are square pegs hammered into round holes, splintering both ourselves and the world we occupy. The violence we inflict on this planet, isn't it the rage of a trapped, terrified animal, lashing out at the cage it doesn't understand? We yearn for connection, for belonging, yet, fundamentally, we feel separate, alone, even in crowds. We invent gods, ideologies, digital networks, desperate attempts to bridge a chasm that feels innate. Is this the human condition, or the profound, unshakable loneliness of the displaced? The quiet horror of knowing, deep in your bones, that the air you breathe is subtly poisonous, the gravity is just a fraction too strong. The sunlight carries a frequency that slowly unravels your very DNA, and there is no home to return to. Because home is a myth, a half-remembered dream from before the crash, before the long, cold sleep in the dark between stars. We call it Earth, Terra, the blue marble, home. But what if that's the greatest lie we tell ourselves? What if we are the ancient astronauts, not visitors, refugees, survivors, prisoners, stranded on a world that tolerates us barely, a world whose biosphere whispers foreign body with every pollen count, every pathogen, every sunset that feels like a closing wound. The next time you feel that unexplained ache, that nameless dread as the stars come out, that jolt of terror when you glimpse something other in your own eyes in a darkened window, don't dismiss it. Listen, that's not madness. That's memory. That's the settler's lament. The sound of a soul encoded for a different sky, slowly realizing it's buried alive on the wrong planet. the horrifying, inescapable truth. We are the aliens, and humanity is the mask we forgot we were wearing.